Hey everyone, welcome back to another Reactions with Erin video. In this video, I will be reacting to Riders on the Storm by The Doors.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man.
One pause. I love the rain sound effects in the background. Adds to the storm theme. I really like this song. It's really good.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm.
I love the sound effects with that. I don't know if I've mentioned it on this channel before, but like rain and thunderstorms are some of my favorite things in the world. So I find the sound of rain very calming. So I love that sound effect. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday, let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road, yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand, make him understand. The world on you depends, our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor on a loan. Riders on the storm. And then it repeats that line, riders on the storm. Looks like 5 times. This was the last song Jim Morrison recorded. He went to France and died a few weeks later. The single was released in June 1971, shortly before Morrison's death. Jim Morrison was a member of the 27 Club. Not something I dwell on a ton, but I'm like, oh, I'm 27 right now. I also don't have a substance abuse problem like a lot of the people in the 27 Club did. The song can be seen as an autobiographical account of Morrison's life. He considered himself a rider on the storm. The Killer on the Road is a reference to a screenplay he wrote called The Hitchhiker, an American pastoral, where Morrison was going to play the part of a hitchhiker who goes on a murder spree. The lyric, "Girl, gotta love your man," can be seen as a desperate plea for his longtime girlfriend, Pamela. As it says in Jim Morrison, Life, Death, Legend, by Stephen Davis in 1962 while Jim was attending Florida State University in Tallahassee. He was seeing a girl named Mary Werbelow. Werbelow, I guess, how do you say that name? Who lived in Clearwater, 280 miles away. Jim would oftentimes hitchhike to see her. Those solitary journeys on hot and dusty Florida two-lane blacktop roads, with his thumb out and his imagination on fire with lust and poetry, and Nietzsche, and God knows what else, taking chances on redneck truckers, fugitive homos, and predatory cruisers, left an inedible psychic scar on Jimmy, whose notebooks began to observe feature crawls and drawings of a lone hitchhiker, an existential traveler, faceless and dangerous, a drifting stranger with violent fantasies, a mystery tramp, the killer on the road. This evolved out of a jam session when the band was messing around with Ghost Riders in the Sky, a 1948 cowboy song by Stan Jones that was later recorded by Johnny Cash, Bing Crosby, and many others. It was Jim Morrison's idea to alter the title to Riders on the Storm. We have listened to Ghost Riders in the Sky by Johnny Cash earlier on my channel. The Doors brought in bass player Mark Beno and Jerry Scheff to play on the album. Scheff came up with the distinctive bass line after Manzarek played him what he had in mind on his keyboard. It took a while to figure it out, since it was much harder to play on a bass than a keyboard. I really like the little instrumental interlude. That was fun. Ray Manzarek used a Fender Rhodes electric piano to create the effect of rain. This was the last song on the Doors album with Morrison. Fittingly, it ends with the storm fading slowly to silence. The remaining Doors released 2 more albums without Morrison before breaking up in 1972. In 2002, Krieger and Manzarek reunited as the Doors of the 21st century. Densmore, who says he wasn't invited to join them, went to court and eventually got a ruling preventing the group from using the Doors in its name, so they changed their name to Riders on the Storm after this song. If you listen closely, you can hear Jim Morrison whispering the lyrics over his own singing, which is kind of a creepy effect. This was Morrison's final contribution as a rock star. Ray Manzarek told Uncut Magazine in September 2011, "There's a whisper voice on Riders on the Storm. If you listen closely, a whispered overdub that Jim adds beneath his vocal. That's the last thing he ever did. An ephemeral whispered overdub." Paul Rothchild, who produced the Doors' first 5 albums, decided not to work on this because he didn't like the songs. He thought this sounded like cocktail music. The Doors ended up producing it themselves with the help of their engineer, Bruce Botnick. I'll finish this. There's not too many left. The single was shortened for radio play. Some of the piano solo was cut out. In 2000, the surviving members of the Doors taped a VH1 Storytellers episode, with guest vocalists filling in for Morrison. Scott Stapp from Creed sang on this track. Creed contributed a version of this to the 2000 Doors tribute album, Stoned Immaculate. Creed also performed it with the Doors guitarist Robbie Krieger at Woodstock '99. Krieger sat in on Creed's What's This Life For during the set. Doors drummer John Densmore wrote a book called Riders on the Storm about his life with Jim Morrison and the Doors. Eric Reed, the screenwriter of the 1986 film The Hitchhiker, has said that his screenplay was inspired by this song. He said in an interview with DVD Active, "I thought the elements of the song, a killer on the road in a storm, plus the cinematic feel of the music, would make a terrific opening for a film. I started with that scene and went from there." When the 71-year-old Ray Manzarek was asked by the Somerville Journal in March 2010 if he turns up or turns off Doors music when he hears it on the radio. Manzarek said, "Oh God, turn it up. Are you kidding? Living up in Northern California, it rains a lot. So they play the heck out of Riders on the Storm. And when that comes on, I crank that sucker, man." When he recorded this song, Jim Morrison had already decided he was going to leave the band and go to Paris, where he would die. Some of the lyrics in this song, "Girl, Gotta Love Your Man," relate to his love for his girlfriend, Pam Corson, who went with him to France. At the end of the song, there are sound effects of thunder and the faint voice of Jim Morrison whispering, "Riders on the Storm." This was envisioned as his spirit whispering from the beyond. Wow. So that was Riders on the Storm by The Doors. Thank you for watching this video. Aaron out. I will see you soon. Have a great day.